There's music here tonight.
Good evening and welcome to Cafe Lena. Thanks for watching this live stream production from Saratoga Springs, New York. These live streams are made possible by the generous support of the Sarah B. Folk Charitable Fund and by our community of subscribers. Special thanks to our Virtuoso level subscribers and lifetime Cafe Lena members. By buying a ticket for this performance, you're supporting independent music and the mission of our historic nonprofit venue. Enjoy your front row seats for this show, live from Cafe Lena.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Cafe Lena. Thank you guys so much for being here tonight and coming out on a Wednesday to support some live music. We have such a great show tonight. It's two amazing songwriters coming to the stage, and we are so excited to welcome back Scott Cook, who is one of the hardest working people out there in folk music. And we had him here about a year ago, and he really just blew us away. We're so happy to have him back here, and we're excited later to welcome Pete Muller here for the first time. So thank you so much for being here. I hope you enjoy this first set. Let's give a very warm welcome to Scott Cook.
Thank you so much. It's great to be back. I think maybe precisely a year ago that I was here last time doing a benefit for Youth Helping Youth. That was a real joy. And and this time it's a double joy because I'm able to bring along my partner, Pamela May.
Happy to be here. Thank you. Yes, it's beautiful here.
Tell you a crazy thing. It's her first time in New York. Matter of fact, it's her first day in the great state of New York.
Yeah. I think I could just stay right here, actually.
I think it's pretty cool if, on your first day in New York, you get to play Cafe Lena.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
It's pretty cool.
It really is.
We're about 3 weeks maybe into about a 3-month trip, and there's 3 of us on the trip together, Pamela and I, and our camper van, Rodetta, who's parked just up Phila Street. So we want to start off with a bit of a good luck charm, a love song for her. We live in our van, and it's a fine place to live. Sleep where we please and wake smiling. There's no rent to pay, and we change the yard most every day. From Haida Gwaii out to Cape Breton Island. There's no shame in being a hobo, and it's a great luxury to have a car.
We can sleep in ours.
And it seems to me that we're two lucky mofos, sleeping out alone beneath the stars. I loaned my friend Brent an orange tarp to curl up in, out drinking one rainy night in Vancouver. And he thanked me 2 times. He was just so happy to be dry, though the police tried to make him feel like a loser. There's no shame in being a hobo. Shame's only for those who got pride. And you gotta keep an eye out for the po-po. But sometimes even the po-po will let you ride. We're living proof This one's on the house, sweet child. This one's on the house. Save your money for another mile. This one's on the house. This one's on the house, sweet child. This one's on the house. Save your money for another mile. This one's on the house. Sleeping in parks and living in cars and sneaking drinks into bars, except this one. And washing up in lakes and truck stops might be frowned on, but you'll do what you must. Get love from those you trust and get yourself to the road that you'll be found on. There's no shame in being a hobo, and we always get taken care of somehow. And you sure can take it with you when you go. Might as well get used to living without now. You sure can take it with you when you go. Might as well get used to living without now. Well, thank you, friends. Thanks for not judging me. I could feel it. It was different when for 13 years, I just made my home out of a minivan, and it was different, you know. I think it felt a little sadder, that song. Potentially sadder. Now I travel around in a van. I can stand up and with this classy lady here, and
We're moving up.
yeah, we're moving up. I mean, give us a decade or two, and we'll be old enough that no one will judge us for living in our motorhome.
That's right. We're
Yeah,
almost
it's
there.
normal then. So I've been traveling around doing this now for 15 years full time, and this is a song inspired by those travels all over this here piece of land we call Turtle Island, and particularly by the voice of a folk singer from Oklahoma who's been a real guiding light for me along the way, a guy named Woody Guthrie. Aren't some people just famous for being famous? Isn't that about all that they do? And couldn't the radio leave you feeling aimless? Just a nameless person like you. But I sure heard the words Woody Guthrie sang, even when they didn't quite rhyme. He knew the heart was the stuff they'd ring close enough further down the line. I've painted houses, mopped floors, and washed dishes, taught kids, cut grass and moved gear, swung hammer, cleaned toilets and dug ditches. And I even sang songs to sell beer. But it was all for someone else's dream, till I set out after mine. Said, take this hammer, take it to the captain, tell him I'm further down the line. I crossed the Fraser, the Columbia, the Mississippi, the Allegheny and the Ohio, St. Lawrence, Susquehanna, Chattahoochee, the Hudson and the Colorado. I saw the big rigs sleeping in the starry desert, saw the snow piled around the Yukon pines. But I couldn't hang around too long in New York town without looking further down the line. Some of the joints in New Orleans aren't pretty, but the waitresses will call you hun, and a cop will stay on the white side of the city, 'cause they paid for his hat and his gun. And there's a Gulf War vet by the overpass who says, bro, can you spare a dime? Who's he kidding? These days a dollar won't be getting you any further down the line, boys. I saw the stars and bars flying in Dixie, and doomsday prophets on Capitol Hill. I saw a fast food mall named after Walt Whitman, and Gettysburg ghosts wandering still. If our families are so broken, how do we make a family out of humankind? We still got promises to break and miles to go before we wake further down the line. I saw the homeless and the houses sitting empty. I heard the explanations of learned men. Nowadays they'll rob you with the computer, 'cause it's faster than a fountain pen. And if smarter people haven't found a gap in the armor, why do I keep trying? I still believe there's a world dying to be born further down the line, friends, further down the line. Oh, Woody, I've been through all kinds of weather, been searching all the faces for a sign. As you know, love's hard to keep together. As the miles and the years unwind, and you never run out of blacktop, no, you just run out of time. That ribbon of songs keeps on winding along ever further down the line. That ribbon of songs keeps on winding along ever further down the line. Well, thanks, friends. This trip that Pavel and I are on right now, and have been on for most of the year, actually. We left Edmonton, Alberta, at the beginning of January, and we just drove. So we drove south until we could take our parkas off, which was Galveston, Texas, and then did a whole bunch of running around in the south and up the west of the country, and then now we're doing the Northeast and Midwest on this trip, and it's all part of a tour to release a brand new album called Tangle of Souls, and the record actually came out in August of 2020, but I'm sticking to my guns and I'm calling it a brand new album still.
Kind of freeze-dried there.
Yeah, it awoke from a cryogenic slumber.
Didn't we all?
What year is it? Yeah, as I'm sure you can imagine, August of 2020 was a weird time to be going ahead with an album with no idea when I was going to be able to get out and get out in the world and get it into people's hands directly. And it felt especially scary for this record in particular because it's the biggest thing I've ever done, owing in large part to a long-running personal fascination with liner notes that goes all the way back to my early musical education, which was with my parents' record collection. You know, in those days there was no internet to look stuff up on. There was really no way to find out anything about what you were listening to, other than what they printed in the jacket. You know, so I used to love the ones that would give you a little more. You know, not like the cheap K-Tel variety, but like the ones that might open up, or like maybe even open up again. Or there'd be like an insert you could pull out and unfold into a poster to put on your wall. Or maybe it would have all the lyrics on the insert, you know, and tell you who was playing what on which track, or show you some pictures from the studio, or talk about what was going on in the world at the time, or the tour that they were on, or whatever, right? I just drank all that stuff up as a kid. So over the years, as I've been making albums of my own, I've been gradually putting